let's start to get into the evidence. Today I'm holding up a prospectus which the bank issued themselves, in which they've clearly identified £200 billion worth of assets, and this prospectus is dated the 3rd of November 2009, and it reads that they've identified £200 billion worth of assets which they are looking to get off their books, which are not expected to have a significant impact on the group's income over the coming 5-year period. Well, how can that be? You would think a bank which makes its money by lending money or doing deals, how can it have £200 billion lent, which is not going to earn any money from? What does that tell you? If the bank has had such detailed lending criteria, if it has so much due diligence, if it has got a very tight credit sanctioning policy, well, how can a bank have this great big hole? It's clear that Lloyds Bank was mismanaged, and it has been mismanaged for over a decade now. So let's go into the Reading scandal, where we now know that 6 people are serving 47 years in jail. And let's then look at the similarities between the Reading scandal and what actually took place in Bristol. In Reading, the bank was working in cahoots with a third-party firm called Quayside Corporate Services. Inside Quayside Corporate Services, they were making recommendations to the bank and overcharging customers a huge amount of money and asset stripping customers, asset stripping them in terms of fees and management charges. Those guys got found guilty and now are in jail where they should be. So what actually took place in Bristol? In Bristol, the case is a lot more detailed and a lot more sinister. The function, or a very similar function, of Quayside Corporate Services, where these third-party rogues were acting outside and asset stripping businesses. In Bristol, there was a firm called Alder King, which was embedded inside the bank. The bank gave these individuals its own stationery, its letterhead, and email addresses, which these individuals used to lie to business customers about who these people actually were. They made themselves out to be managers of the bank, employees of the bank, because they all had Lloyds Bank email addresses. And what they did was they manipulated valuations of properties in order to secure very lucrative receiverships. I'm going to share some of the evidence of the false identities or the people making themselves out to be people that they weren't in my next video. Stay tuned.